Well, I certainly did not travel here because of the storks, so my thoughts circle before reaching my destination, because again and again large numbers of stork nests come to my attention. But really, we have enough of those in the South Palatinate. I ponder while driving. I want to see vultures, possibly a European roller, and of course my big dream, the little owl. But no matter where I look, the storks are already there. After all, more than 32,000 breeding pairs in Spain and 11,000 of them in Extremadura compete for nesting sites. Needless to say, I do not close my eyes to the little wonders along the way. And yes, as a nature filmer, I also have to be guided by the circumstances. But storks? Let's see. In Extremadura, not only ants have to be on the move. After all, it's blessed with a varied landscape and incredible impressions. The views are overwhelming. Small, subtropical primeval forests, huge rock labyrinths, and dry, almost steppe-like areas characterize the image of the northern province of Cáceres. In April and May 2019, I am on the trail of the most impressive animals of this region with the camera. Barely arrived in Extremadura, the weather changes. As predicted, the rain is coming. A lot of rain. The nocturnal frog concert cannot be overheard. Among other things, I believe I heard tree frogs. Therefore, the next morning I went looking for them in the immediate vicinity of the campsite. I didn't take long to find them. The Mediterranean tree frogs, like their German relatives, sit on grass and reed stalks to sleep during the day. There is snow in the mountains, but in the plain the weather stabilizes. It's getting warmer. Griffon vultures and other birds of prey circle relaxed in the thermos. One of the many seemingly endless gravel roads leads me over a lonely railway line to a small village. The hoopoe calls are omnipresent, but finding them is another matter. Their escape distance on the meadows is enormous, and at a distance they are barely visible. They stand out only when they take flight due to their characteristic black and white wings. The nesting hole is hidden behind a wall, fundamentally a well-chosen place in my opinion, because a huge herding dog guards the area. The trick with the camouflage net in the front of the driver's side also works here. I can make great observations because the male is often in an exposed position. It retreats to the female in the leafy tree only for the more intimate. Pretty regularly I find small stink bombs on the car roof. They are clearly feces packages of nestlings which were removed by their parents and disposed of. I appreciate such clues. They are always a good indication of a nearby bird's nest. Immediately I search for the little bombers. Based on the regular flight route, I can soon make out a pair of blue tits as the responsible party. They have set up their breeding hole very close to my caravan in an old, gnarled cork oak. As a nature lover, one could not imagine a more beautiful nest site. The pair of blue tits on the edge of a fenced cattle pasture live quite differently. They have founded their nursery in an old railway sleeper, which has been transformed into a fence post. Where previously the rail was held by large nails is now the access hole in blue tit size. The practice of removing droppings from young animals is normal for songbirds. The smell of the nest is less intensive and is therefore an effective protection against predators which orientate themselves by smell. It was days later when I realized that another predator had been constantly observing me while filming. Below the castle of Monfrago, I discovered a third pair of brooding blue tits. As a kind of squatter, they had taken over a nesting hollow where the access hole had originally been narrowed by a nuthatch. Of course, here the dropping parcels are also disposed of. I observed the two birds for more than 14 days. They are the first hoopoes I have ever observed in the wild. Their behavior, in particular the obvious firm bond between them, inspires me. The tireless male constantly brings prey, obviously wedding presents. Before the handover, it patrols noticeably back and forth with the food in its beak, until, as if it receives a secret signal, he suddenly disappears in a tangle of leaves. Somehow I became very fond of the ever-present male and the secretive female. But back to the campsite. Every minute the industrious blue tits provide food for their hungry crew. They reliably ensure the cleanliness of the nursery too when leaving the nest. Something is wrong today. The male seems irritated because no female lures in the tree to receive his prey. The explanation is quickly found. At the foot of the wall I find the sad remains of the missing female.